It-tmexxija ta' lukanda tinvolvi proċess intrikat fejn tim sħiħ jiġbed ħabel wieħed sabiex iwassal l-ogħla livell ta' kwalità lill-mistednin kollha. Fl-episodju tal-lum ngħaddu għan-naħa l-oħra tal-iskrivanija biex ngħidu kelma ma' Robyn Pratt, Maniġer Ġenerali b'45 sena esperjenza fis-settur tal-ospitalità.
I'm Robyn Pratt. I'm a general manager in a leading hotel here in Malta. And in this role, I am responsible for the day-to-day operation of the hotel, ensuring our guests are happy and exceeding our monthly and annual KPIs. So I really have an industry background. I used to work with Starwood Hotels, who put me through a specially designed master's program back in Australia. But really, it's what I've learned has been very much from around 44 years in this industry. So I guess a lot of it is experience-based. I've done various training programs associated with various elements of the industry. I'm a trained black belt, so in Six Sigma, which is about operational excellence. As I said, I trained in Australia with regards to my academic qualifications. And most recently, and I'm talking about more of the training side of things, before coming to the hotel, I qualified as a mindset coach with Bob Proctor in Canada. So I went to Canada probably around 4 or 5 times, and that enabled me to understand a lot more about mindset, and I do quite a lot of coaching. In Brussels, I was more in a regional role, so I was in charge of quality for 240 hotels across Europe, Africa, Middle East. And I was fortunate enough to understand that based on every country, there's different cultures and different ways of doing things, and that also applies to hospitality. I think in Brussels, obviously, it's a much more established hospitality sector, and particularly in the restaurants, food and beverage. But I see that more and more so here in Malta. You have the quality restaurants. I mean, we've got the Michelin restaurants. We've just got a 2-star Michelin restaurant. So the quality side of hospitality is definitely coming more into fray. And I think that's really important. It's something that I'm a great believer in, that if we can really train the people to deliver the best possible experiences at a very high international level on a consistent basis, it's good for everyone. Well, yesterday morning I started at 6:30. This morning I started at 7. And it really is about, walking around, talking to the employees, checking things that like the garden, walking through the garden, making sure everything's looking good for the people that are going to be walking through it later in the day, walking around the back of the hotel, talking to employees, talking to guests at breakfast. So a lot of walking around in the morning. And then we have our morning briefing, so we discuss what's happening, what happened the night before, what's going to happen that day. And then from there on, I can never say that I've got one day the same as the others. Yesterday we had a photo shoot, so we're all day sort of walking around the property with that. We can have meetings happenings or VIPs arriving. And, when you're in this sort of industry, it really is, your day it can be taken over by things very quickly. So, but on the most, I like to think that I'm more of a manager who likes to walk around and talk to my guests. And I always say this, my staff know it off by heart, but it's something my mother instilled in me is, in life, you get what you give. And we endeavor to help. And I've always done this. I've developed service cultures for many organizations, not just in hospitality, but also across other industries. And if you can help your internal clients, your customers, feel the best they can, they're going to do the same for who they're working with, whether it be colleagues or guests. So that's a very strong value I have, is that if you can bring your business to life from the inside out through helping your employees feel the best they can, then they're going to do the same for the guests. And I think that we have been successful with this. For someone that wants to be a great success in this industry at any level, they need to have a high level of emotional intelligence and the ability to understand and listen from others' perspectives and not just, this is what I think, this is the way we're going to do it. And that goes from leadership down, because so often we learn from the people that are actually doing the jobs. The housemaids know what's going on in the rooms more than I do. So they should be the people that we go to for ideas. And I think that is incredibly important. So people that are really, and this whole thing of, I enjoy working with people, it's not that you enjoy working with people, it's that you have a willingness to want to deliver the best you can possibly do for other people. And by doing that, you start to really reinforce a great aura and energy around you where others are attracted to you. And that's what makes people attractive, to be able to, people are looking for them, those people that people are talking about. And as I say to the people here in the hotel, that if you can be the best you can be in your role and you're wanting to advance in the hospitality industry, being the part of something great is going to help you in the future. So we're at work a long time. Why not make it fun and enjoyable and deliver the best you can every time? I'm Australian by birth, and it's a well-known fact that Australians travel. And like most Australians, I got a second job waitressing when I was 15 to try and start to save up money for my first overseas trip. And the bug got me. So I actually part-owned my first restaurant before I was 21. And then I went on to open another one. And I was general manager of a hotel by the time I was 33. So it sort of stuck with me. And I did endeavour to leave and go to other industries. But here I am, many, many years later, thinking I would never be a general manager of a hotel again. But there's something, once that bug gets in you, it seems to stay with you. So, yeah. Always be open to learning. Every day you've got something to learn. This power of listening from the other person's perspective and not just listen from your own side of things. And also, instead of walking away from problems or guest complaints, they can be treasures. And so often we don't want to listen because, we're always right. But if you can take on what's being said to you and resolve it, I've seen so many times when a problem resolved in the best way will turn an unhappy guest into a fan. Because I think, too often we don't want to listen to what people are telling us. And that goes not just in this industry, but for ourselves as well. No one is perfect. So if we can learn and grow from that, that's the best thing. I think that's the biggest thing I've learned.
Robyn tenfasizza li s-suċċess li kisbet din l-industrija, kif ukoll is-suċċess li għad trid tikseb, jistrieħ fuq in-nies b'talent illi jirnexxilhom jinġibdu lejn dan is-settur. Tgħidilna wkoll li dan is-suċċess jiddependi wkoll fuq il-kuntentizza tat-tim innifsu li jaqdi rwol kruċjali għall-kuntentizza tal-mistednin.
I think it is that, and I hate to say this, but in Malta, because there is only one or two of us, they don't expect the GM to be a woman. It's, it's sort of like, it is sometimes a surprise that it's a woman. And I think, you have to earn the respect more. You have to work harder to earn credibility because, she's just a woman. What would she know? I have had that in the past, not in Malta, But I have had men say to me, look, Robyn, you're a woman, you have to realize that you're going to have children and, you're going to have to expect that, you're not going to be able to make this a career. And I'm the sort of person, if you say that to me, that I can't do something, I'll work harder to do it. But I know that, and also I think this is not a 9-to-5 position. So having family, and obviously, a mother's job is a mother's job, a mother's role. So unless you've got a very supportive partner, it's very difficult to be, I think, a general manager as a woman because, as I said, I started very early yesterday morning. I'll finish late tonight. I'm fortunate that, I had my older boys when I was a GM, but I had, really great support. And then when I had my youngest son, I was in the regional position. So it was more of I won't say 9-to-5, but it was more normal hours. So I couldn't do this if I had a young family, I don't think. We need more people, women and men, in the hospitality industry. But for a young woman, I would say this is a great industry. It has given me the opportunity to move from Australia to Brussels to see the world. I'm very, very fortunate to have stayed in some of the best hotels in the world. My family have enjoyed a wonderful experience with doing the same. And, hospitality is a great industry to really feel like you've accomplished a lot. And I would love to see more and more females getting into general management. As I said, I was 32, so you can do it. And then go and have your family, or have your family early and move into being a general manager role. But it is a great, great, great position. It's a great role for women because I think hospitality is about serving, giving service. And as a female, that is naturally what we're doing. So I'd love to see more female GMs, absolutely.
Minkejja l-isfidi li jippreżentaw ruhom hija d-dedikazzjoni ta' dawk kollha involuti li jkomplu jimbuttaw dan is-settur il qudiem. U issa wasal il-waqt li ngħidu saħħa lil Robyn biex tkompli tassigura li l-esperjenza tal-mistednin tagħhom tkun waħda mill-isbaħ. Narawkom fl-episodju li jmiss.
Il-mara jixtieq jirringrazzja lil Ministeru għat-Turiżmu, lil Malta Tourism Authority u l-Institute of Tourism Studies.